When I first heard about the Amazfit Bip 5 and its $89 price tag, I thought to myself, not another budget watch. But then I dug a bit deeper onto their website and found that Amazfit have tried to cram in as many premium features as they could into the Bip 5. So the next thing you know is I ordered the Bip 5 and used it every day for the last 2 weeks and found some interesting things about it, all in an attempt to try and find out if this $89 wearable is really the ultimate budget smartwatch. So the Bip 5 looks very familiar with a rectangular form factor, and the screen actually has a subtle curve to it, which I actually haven't seen before, but it sort of helps the fingers glide across the screen when navigating through the watch. It's a fairly large display at 1.91 inches, and I didn't really have any major issues reading text off of the screen even when running outdoors. Speaking of the display, it's an old school LCD screen, but I think that helps Amazfit keeps the cost down for this wearable. And if you're coming from an AMOLED screen or a display to this watch, you might feel that the colors are a bit washed out. But having said that, I didn't really have any major issues using the screen even in bright sunshine. There's not many color options here. The one that I have here is called soft black, and there's two other options called pastel pink and creamy white on Amazfit's website. The watch comes with a pretty standard silicone band, which is quite flexible, dries off easily, and can't see any major issues with longevity as well. In any case, you can swap out the bands by pressing these small tabs at the back of the watch. Now, the screen is made of tempered glass, and during my use, I did bump the watch a few times, and it has held up pretty well. I think it's strong enough for most applications that this watch will be used for, such as running, cycling, working out at the gym, hiking, and general day-to-day activities. Speaking of robustness, the rest of the watch's body is made of plastic, but that means two things. It helps Amazfit keep the cost of this watch down, and it also makes it quite light at just 29 grams. I mean, I had my Garmin Venue 2 on my other wrist during the 2-week testing period, and I definitely noticed the difference in weight during day-to-day activities. At the back, there's Amazfit's BioTracker optical sensors for heart rate tracking and sleep monitoring. And I'll get to the accuracy of the heart rate tracking later on in this video. Now, the watch's main screen is where most of the functions can be accessed, and it's quite easy to use. Swiping up shows new notifications from the watch as well as from your phone. Swiping down shows the watch's settings. Swiping left gives you easy access to widgets like steps cards, heart rate, activities, and so on. And swiping right shows you some shortcut cards to things like music controls, weather, performance metrics, alarms, and so on. There's also a button on the side of the watch, and pressing once normally takes you back to the home screen. Pressing once again when on the home screen takes you to some more shortcuts. Now, long pressing the long button gives you quick access to activities. Now, there's 120 exercise modes on the Bip 5, more than anyone would ever need. I mean, you've even got sports like curling and judo here. Now, Amazfit have also managed to cram in their Zepp OS 2.0 into the Bip 5, which is something that you'll see in their more expensive performance series wearables that cost more than $300. The touch input and software speed has been pretty snappy and fine for everyday use. It's never crashed or become unstable during my testing period. Now, I've mainly been using the strength training and outdoor running modes during my test. Selecting an activity gives you a few more options once you scroll down, such as setting up a workout assistant or setting up an interval timer, and even customizing the data fields you will see when you start the activity. So if I want to see my current heart rate right at the top of the screen, I can select this field and then heart rate from the options shown. And if I want the current time to be displayed at the bottom, I can select that field and then pick current time from the list of options shown. Scrolling left from the screen will show you the data pages that are available to you when you start the activity, and then scrolling left again shows you the controls for the music being played on your phone. Selecting the green button on the screen starts the activity, and pressing the side button will pause the activity, and it also gives you the option to stop the activity. So the Bip 5 is heavily marketed as a smartwatch by Amazfit, and it delivers on that front. Well, kind of. Let me explain. So you can set it up to receive notifications from your phone, reply to messages, and even answer phone calls via Bluetooth. Stuff that you'd normally expect from a smartwatch. But then there's this whole apps ecosystem that promises a whole lot but doesn't really work well. Now, I thought that the navigation app here would show directions on my watch based on Google Maps on my phone, And I followed all the steps in this app, gave it all the permissions, and even though the Zepp app says that it's installed on my watch and on my phone, the app just doesn't come up on the Bip 5 and doesn't work at all. Then I started digging a bit more and I found that the majority of the apps here are just games. Then there's this Amaze Wallet app and it looks very familiar to the Google Wallet logo. And this might lead you to think that you can load your credit or debit cards and use it outside for everyday shopping. But when you start digging a bit deeper, you'll find out that you can only load membership cards for supermarkets and shopping outlets, not for paying anything outside. Now, for this to be called the ultimate budget smartwatch, it all just feels a bit misleading, and I think Amazfit have definitely over-marketed the smart functionality here, and I definitely wouldn't recommend buying the Amazfit Bip 5 for its smart functionality alone. Now, one of the most important features for a smartwatch is accurate fitness and performance measurement, and Amazfit has equipped the Bip 5 with their proprietary BioTracker optical heart rate sensor. Now, the website doesn't actually say which generation of the sensor is being used here, but nevertheless, I tested the Bip 5 at the gym as well as for outdoor running. To benchmark my heart rate readings, I use the Polar H10 chest strap, which uses ECG to record heart rate data, and it's often considered as the gold standard for heart rate measurement. Now, running is one of the easier workouts for a smartwatch to detect, and looking at my heart rate chart, the blue line here represents the data from the chest strap and the orange line represents the data from the Amazfit Bip 5. And the Bip 5 picks up the rise in my heart rate pretty accurately. And that's fine until around the 5-minute mark, where it starts creating this lag in heart rate, which goes to around 70 beats per minute lag, and then it finally picks up again and almost matches the data coming out of the chest strap, which is actually quite impressive. Towards the end, it does struggle a bit at this point, but overall, it seems to have done really well. Now, the average accuracy from this outdoor run for the Amazfit Bip 5 when compared to the chest strap has been 96%. Now, for me, anything over 95% accuracy for an optical heart rate sensor is actually really good, and I think Amazfit have done a really good job with the Bip 5 here. And when it comes to strength training, this is where most wrist-based optical heart rate sensors start to struggle because of variations in hand and wrist movements. Now, pro tip here is to try and wear your watch around 2 fingers away from your wrist. Now, make sure that it's a bit snug but not tight enough that it restricts blood flow in your arm. Looking at the heart rate chart for the strength training, again, the blue line represents the data from the chest strap and the orange line represents data from the Amazfit Bip 5. And as expected, the Bip 5 starts picking up the rise in my heart rate, but then it misses all of these peaks that are represented by the chest strap, up to a point where there's even a 40 beats per minute lag in heart rate. Not sure what's going on out here though. And at this point here, where Bip 5 records a really high spike in heart rate, and I don't know again why it's gone way over what the chest strap is recording here. And after that, towards the end, it's been fairly okay. Again, it missed out on a few peaks, but this is where I was doing my legs workout, where there wasn't much of wrist movement, so the watch was pretty stable on my wrist. And at that point, you can see that the Bip 5 was showing the same readings, well, close to similar readings to my chest strap. Now, overall, the average accuracy for the strength training for the Bip 5 has been around 94%. Now, although that seems good, and remember, the average accuracy figure is skewed because of my legs workout towards the end of the session here. And you can see that quite a lot of the peaks in my heart rate have been missed by the Bip 5. If you're looking for a wearable that can track the peaks in your heart rate accurately, you're probably better off with an ECG chest strap or an arm-based optical heart rate sensor. Now, when it comes to sleep tracking, the Amazfit Bip 5 is capable of monitoring sleep during the night and displaying your various sleep stages and their occurrences on the watch, as well as the Zepp app the next day. Now, the Zepp app is really good here in that it gives you some more insights, such as your heart rate variability, the duration that you spent in each sleep stage, as well as regularity of your sleeping and waking up times. Now, take sleep tracking data from any watch with a grain of salt. This is not meant to be a medical grade device, so if you are having any issues with sleep, please make sure that you go and see your doctor for a professional assessment. Now, when it comes to GPS and location tracking, the Amazfit Bip 5 has something known as assisted GPS, which helps it make use of 4 different satellite systems with the combination of cell phone networks to try and triangulate your location as quickly and as accurately as possible. So for my outdoor run, it took only a few seconds for the watch to lock onto my location, and overall the watch did a fairly good job tracking my outdoor run along the roads where there wasn't much obstruction or overhead cover. And then I went into the woods. There was a slight deviation from the running trail, probably due to the tree cover, but overall I think it tracked my route really well. Now, although there's no fancy dual band technology here, I think the Bip 5 is well capable of tracking outdoor activities. Amazfit claimed that the 300 mAh battery in the Bip 5 could last for up to 10 days with typical usage and 5 days with heavy usage. Now, I'm always a bit suspicious when it comes to manufacturer claims around battery lives because they always test them in strict conditions. But when I test a wearable on this channel, I use it as if it were my own day-to-day device. So I'd set the brightness to medium, I'd keep the heart rate tracking on throughout the day, and I'd also increase the frequency to as high as possible. I'd keep the sleep monitoring on with the blood oxygen measurement on when I'm sleeping. I'll also connect it to my phone for notifications, and I also use GPS for outdoor activities. I also make sure that the watch face that's on it is the one that I actually like and I would use as if it were my own watch. So looking at the battery drain profile, on average, the Bip 5 lost around 3% battery every night whilst I was sleeping, but the blood oxygen measurements were also on, and around 8% during workouts, which included a mixture of strength training at the gym and use of the watch's GPS for outdoor running. Now, overall, the Bip 5 lasted for exactly 6 days on a single charge with some fairly heavy usage, which exceeds Amazfit's 5 days claim for this type of use. And I think the LCD display might have something to do here because LCD displays use less power than OLED or AMOLED screens. But I think Amazfit have done a fantastic job here with optimizing the battery life. A good smartwatch experience also relies on its companion app, and Amazfit's Zepp app is intuitive enough and gives you a bit more detail on all the health and performance metrics that the Bip 5 is measuring. So for example, you can go into the sleep card here and it shows you some more details around your sleep phases. You can also see how your heart rate and stress levels have varied during the day. Now, going to the workout tab opens up your activities history, exercise status, and a weekly report. Now, tapping onto any one of these activities shows you some more details. So for example, I'll open up my outdoor run here and it's showing me the route as measured by the watch's GPS and quite a lot of stats such as pace charts, heart rate charts, cadence charts, training effects, and so on, which I think is really good for a watch at this price point. Oh, if you're looking for watch faces and apps, then selecting profile on the bottom right corner of the screen will show various options and settings. Now, Amazfit have made a really big deal about this whole apps ecosystem and said that there's 70 odd watch faces available for the Bip 5. But I found that quite a lot of them are paid options, which is quite frustrating. And that actually brings me on to some annoying features about the Bip 5. Now, on the surface, the Zepp app might look like it has a lot of intuitive insights, such as this one from their Aura assistants here, or even if you try to access this Zepp coach or the weekly activities report. But as soon as you try to dive into any of this, you will hit a paywall for Amazfit's premium service. Now, the fact that Amazfit has collected all the data needed for their analysis and then added a cost to access that analysis is quite a bit frustrating. If you're used to taking your smartwatch to the shower just like me, then be aware. Although Amazfit claim that the Bip 5 has IP68 certification, which is good for some water resistance including showering, they then ask users to remove their watch before going for a hot shower because the steam can damage the seals within the watch. I guess I'll just have to listen to them and remove the Bip 5 when having a shower, or I can just have a cold shower. Now, Amazfit haven't really optimized the Zepp app experience for Bip 5 watch owners. So for example, when I first opened the app, I saw this readiness scorecard here, but then it says that I need to have a compatible watch to see this, only for me to remove that manually and remind me that I actually bought their budget watch. The strength training activity on the watch has an inbuilt rep counter, which you might think is really useful, but I found that it's not really accurate. So for example, I'm going to do 10 reps of bicep barbell curls and see how much the watch can actually detect. It's not all negative though. Here are some cool features about the Amazfit Bip 5. So the Amazfit Bip 5 has Alexa built straight into the watch, so I can ask it things like, Hey Alexa, start a 12-minute timer.
Second timer, 12 minutes, starting now.
Or, hey Alexa, ask everyone to subscribe to my channel.
Sorry, you can't send announcements from this device.
Now, Amazfit can estimate a metric called PAI, which is a physiological indicator of your cardiovascular fitness. Now, a number over 100 means that you have a reduced likelihood of cardiovascular death as per the Hunt Fitness study. So the Bip 5 gives you a morning report as soon as you wake up, and it shows you things like the weather outside, your upcoming calendar appointments, any notifications from the watch or from your phone, and so on, which I think is really good at this price point. The Bip 5 has a feature called Virtual Pacer, so when you're using the outdoor running or treadmill activity within the watch, you can set a pace target and the watch will tell you how far behind or ahead you are of the target. So then, is the Amazfit Bip 5 the ultimate budget smartwatch that we all were promised? Now, I think that it has quite a lot of shortcomings when it comes to the smart functionality, but if you're looking for a fitness tracker that does things like activity tracking, outdoor GPS tracking, sleep monitoring, stress level measurement and management, and transferring notifications from your phone straight to your wrist, then the Amazfit Bip 5 should be on your shortlist. But I definitely wouldn't recommend it if you're looking for a smartwatch that does other smart functionalities really well. If you enjoyed this review, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on my next wearable review. And trust me, there's quite a lot of reviews coming. And if you're thinking of buying the Amazfit Bip 5, or if you've already bought one, make sure you check this video out where I show you 9 pro tips to master your Amazfit Bip 5. See you in the next one.